The situation unfolding on the Hill highlights a dramatic and often controversial approach in Australian politics, the Albanese government's willingness to employ extreme measures in hopes of resolving stubborn immigration challenges. This latest move, involving a deal with Nauru to accept up to 280 individuals previously detained, exemplifies how both major political sides are prepared to go to significant and costly lengths when faced with the complex reality of managing illegal non-citizens. Breaking the news on Friday, officials from Nauru announced that a confidential agreement had been struck between Australia's Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke and Nauruan authorities. This pact involves Nauru taking in a sizable group of former Australian detainees, known as the NZYQ cohort, who had been held in detention until a landmark High Court ruling in late 2023 declared indefinite detention unconstitutional. Many of these detainees had troubling criminal histories, including allegations of serious offenses such as murder and rape. Since their release into the community, a disturbing number have reoffended, some very gravely. In fact, charges are now pending against one individual accused of murder. Under the terms negotiated, Australia will provide Nauru with an upfront financial package of $400 million, supplemented with an annual contribution of approximately $70 million to support this arrangement. The plan does not involve sending all these individuals to Nauru at once. Rather, they will be transferred gradually over time. The Albanese administration kept this agreement under tight wraps. Minister Burke traveled secretly to Nauru on Friday, and instead of issuing a conventional detailed press release, the details of the deal were merely posted on the Home Affairs website, a move that raised eyebrows and questions about transparency. The official statement described the negotiations. During the visit, Minister Burke met with Nauru's president, David Adeang, as well as the cabinet and the parliament. An MOU was signed, outlining commitments to ensure proper treatment and the long-term residence of individuals who do not have a legal right to stay in Australia, but will be received in Nauru. Australia will also support Nauru's ongoing economic stability through funding. Summary remarks from Burke emphasized the fundamental principle: anyone without a valid visa should leave the country, highlighting the government's stance on immigration enforcement. To facilitate this, Burke introduced legislation last week that waives usual procedural rights, such as the right to a fair hearing, for those being deported under these kinds of agreements. This policy change built on earlier laws with some gaps or loopholes, making expedited removal easier. Environment Minister Murray Watt echoed the government's stance on national security and immigration integrity. We need to remember, these are individuals with no valid visa to be in Australia, he explained. Having gone through judicial and ministerial reviews, this new arrangement with Nauru is designed to facilitate the removal of those with no lawful right to stay. However, not everyone supports this approach. Liberal frontbencher James Patterson criticized the entire process as a debacle, yet acknowledged that the opposition had previously supported similar schemes, suggesting a bipartisan consensus, at least temporarily, on removing individuals who pose a risk or challenge border policies. The political landscape becomes even more complicated with the stance of opposition groups like the Greens. Bear immigration spokesperson David Shoebridge harshly condemned the deal, framing it as forcing smaller Pacific nations into becoming 21st-century prison colonies instead of fostering respectful, equitable partnerships. This criticism underscores the ongoing debate. Are these measures effective and ethical solutions, or a troubling display of politicized border enforcement? And here's where it gets truly controversial. How governments address illegal immigration often reveals deeper questions about sovereignty, morality, and international relationships. Do strategies like this sacrifice human rights for political expediency, or are they necessary tools in a complex global migration system? Would these policies hold up under broader ethical scrutiny, or do they risk creating new forms of colonialism? The mixed reactions and sharply divided opinions leave one thing clear: immigration and border policies rarely have simple answers. What's your take? Are these measures justified in the pursuit of border security, or do they undermine the humane principles we often hold dear? Feel free to share your thoughts. This debate is far from over,